Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of Ace Attorney Investigations. I'm future Zephyr, recording this bit here after the fact, because the finale video ended up being so gosh dang long I ended up cutting it in two, so this is part 2 of the finale. Without further ado, please enjoy. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more.
As if there is anything else for me to testify about.
I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatre Neutralis.
Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show.
Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. Well... Screw it. The energy in this music is telling me this might really be the last final stretch. Maybe it's just as simple as getting Alba to admit his crime here, and then the rest will be a lot of finale stuff, you know? And if that's the case, yeah, the time is right, let's press on.
I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them.
So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you?
Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai.
Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool. It's the Steel Samurai who was cool. I love how Edgeworth turns into an 8-year-old every time the samurai comes up. Anyway. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? Huh? Hey, Edgy! Who is she? Who is this super cute girl? She's been standing here this whole time and only now he notices her? Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, so Kay, I'm Larry Butts! Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end for that man there. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. Think I'll give trust in you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. Trust has been earned. I leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear, I will finish the job. This really is the endgame. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies.
I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience.
The last row? I should think that an ambassador would have had special seating reserved.
I wanted my staff to enjoy the Steel Samurai show as well, so I gave up all of the good seats for them. It was enough for me to simply see him.
Hey, the Steel Samurai wasn't the only hero. Let's not forget about the Pink Princess here.
My dear madame, if you continue to thrust about like that, your hip may begin to hurt again.
He's so sympathetic. Oh my! Well, aren't you a considerate person when you want to be? But this young butterfly is on the side of edgy poo. So you can spare me the flirtatious come-ons. Wow, he's completely frozen. In frustration, perhaps. I dare say she can be one rather trying opponent. In any case, Mr. Alba, can you actually prove to us that you were watching the show?
I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose.
Are you admitting, then, that you have no way of proving to us that you were watching?
Quiet. You buzz in my ear like a pesky little fly. If you don't wish to listen quietly until the end of what I have to say, then perhaps you should pack up and get out of my way. I see that you're willing to be a bit more receptive now. While it's true that it may be difficult to prove that I was out in the audience, I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you?
Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself.
That's nice.
That's nice. Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. I wasn't planning to let him... Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome?
Yes, I remember that well, and that spectacular special move. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate. Earth's rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever.
Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear!
Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move?
I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me.
One of the scenes was of his never-before-seen early summer rain jab move.
Are we really gonna get the ultimate gotcha on the game's final boss villain with a Super Sentai Samurai move? Oh my god. It's Sushi Slice, not Summer Rain Jab. Oh my god. I can only assume that in the original Japanese of the game, whatever whatever wording was used as a bit of wordplay, maybe. Like, maybe this is one syllable off in difference, you know? But, yeah, okay, how can I prove it was Sushi Slice? Oh. Oh, well, okay. Because he bent it, Larry couldn't do the early summer rain jab. I guess Alba just looked at the show's script.
Objection!
The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over?
That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this.
The samurai spear? What about it?
This spear actually never made it on stage today.
Excuse me?
Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Those words were too big for him. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Kay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai's special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Correct. Because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used. Kirkus Alba. You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? So if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Cochin instead. So where were you during the show? I demand an answer now. Just what is so funny?
You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show. Or most of it, in any case.
What do you mean by most of it?
You see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assumed that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. That is the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal.
Just because he got the name of the move wrong. Can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. As a fan of this... Oh, why did I give him such a regular voice there?
As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I had wanted to watch the entire show, honest.
As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever. Oh. Wait, was that not Edgeworth who said that? Who was that just now?
It would be I, young lady.
Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Edgy, just hold on for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samaniac. Oh.
What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, pal?
I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth?
It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart.
Huh, the sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Yeah, I did think he looked a bit like Pinocchio. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Cochin. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else.
I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for?
Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff know about. Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you just say? I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's right board. Early summer rain jab. That's kind of how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. Have you seen or met the director, Franziska? God. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kind of pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Hold those lips of yours still.
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you.
How dare you!
I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony.
Huh. So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into the behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show.
Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Kirkus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself, that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start.
So, just what are you driving at?
That the name of the move you told us was never used in the show or said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Kirkus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. You saw it. Yeah, you saw it. That goes to show where his location is. And if we can prove his location, which is the thing we're trying to build up to, we can prove that he was where he needed to be to kill Kochin. Let's do this. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right?
But what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means.
There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Kochin's murder. The dogs! The dogs! He's gone to the dogs! They were taken out of the cart, in the room, in the dressing room.
Take that!
Oh.
Well, maybe I should just go with the cart, because the cart was there.
And what sort of connection would that be?
It's a bit difficult to recognize at first glance. However, yeah, the dogs themselves don't have a connection to the murder. I jumped ahead. I just wanted the hilarity of the hot dogs being the killer evidence. Yes, well, this time I will present to you the real piece that will prove my point.
Take that!
The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. Oh my god, the body was on the stage during the show. Wow. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into Alabasta along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically, the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Oh, but wait. What if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room?
What do you mean, Kay?
I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart. Correct, and it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Kirkus Alba, during the show you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why.
Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it. I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest. Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself?
Explain? What is there to explain?
I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard.
You punk! Still trying to get out of this? He got lost in his own embassy. Really? Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Lane, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there.
Yeah, if Mr. Edgeworth pokes around in there, I'm sure he'll find some new facts, pal.
Oh, and if we use Little Thief, we may even learn something from a recreation.
We don't need to do any of that.
What? Wolfie? How could you?
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else.
And they found nothing?
There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, and it's that they found nothing. That's it.
I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us.
Well, maybe in this case, the fact that there is nothing, the absence, is in itself what we need. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing there to find.
And if there is no info to feed it into Little Thief, then I couldn't be much help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action left to us?
It would appear that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you will excuse me. Because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one.
Who is it this time? Hold it right there, you whippersnappers! First Larry, and now you! What is with that scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're all leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely dust that I'm about to cry in. Why did you have to speak up right at this instant? But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up. Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing from you. It's so super special that I just couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. Oh, my special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo. Are you ready? Is this? It's...
It's a box of those samurai dogs, right?
Yes, oh, Edgy Poo. Here, go on and eat one and you'll feel all right as Wayne.
I want to say Gumshoe's looking sad because he's like, I wish I could eat one of those dogs. I bet he's really hungry. Are we through here?
Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo! Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you! I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know. No, sir. The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I fed you and you were nice and full one day. It's my dream to serve you some of my own homemade food. I mean, isn't it the desire of everyone to make sure that their beloved never goes hungry? And that was one experience and one thing that I'm going to say I can make those meal and greens you through and for me. I was a big fishback. Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? There is no power on earth that can force that woman into silence. But I'm so sick and tired of it. All you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool. It had a special design on its fan, like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special.
Oh. My god, is that a splotch of blood?
But when I ate one, it tasted just like all the rest. Oh, it made me so mad. Wait, a special box with a Hinomaru-like fan on it? Never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red rising sun on this fan is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there is no such thing as a rising sun dog. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this rising sun may be just what we needed to point us in the right direction. Well, thanks, Apollo. You brought the sun forward, huh? present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to embassy people and tell them hi. Had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at this theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then, you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's time to piece the final pieces of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be, once we've found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. Right on. So, the body was placed in the pushcart, but that's impossible because the samurai dogs were in the cart. Therefore, the dogs had to be taken out of the cart. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. And if they were on the floor, then, that which should not exist, this box of samurai dogs with a Hinomaru on it. If this red rising sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Wendy Oldbay, I thank you. What you have given to me is truly something very special. Edgy poo!
Mr. Edgeworth? Are you sure you're feeling okay, sir?
Mr. Alba, as I suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room.
How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some definitive evidence.
That arrogance, that self-confidence. I believe that you've erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good.
You're bluffing.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the thanes we need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs is going to put the old man away? The trace evidence that will bring him down. Why, it's here, of course. Red on red. This box of samurai dogs with a rising sun fan on it. This should never have existed. So I want you all to take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood. Huh? What?
Blood, you say?
Agent Lane, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste. I've got to admit, I'm a bit surprised. Can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey, you, get this down to the lab, pronto. But why was there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcarts, correct? Oh, yeah, you have a great memory, Gudgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know what I mean? so to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart. If what Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor? Ah, I see. The killer took them out in order to place a body in the pushcart. Exactly. And that is when I believe the victim's blood found its way onto that box. But when my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there, because embassy staff members had already confiscated them. Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder. It's a good thing Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Oldbag also managed to put the great thief to shame. What a scandalous way of putting that. I didn't steal, I received it from myself. Kirkus Alba, I'd say this was one very fatal oversight on your part. Oh God, what now?
Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however.
How? How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation for him like this?
Even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what?
So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh? The sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime. That alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room.
And you say that like it means something.
Huh? Excuse me, sirs.
Report. What were the results of the analysis?
Sir, the analysis came back and confirmed that the red substance is blood. I knew it. With this, Kirkus Alba.
Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question.
Your question?
The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make?
Like we already told ya, it proves that the crime scene was that dressing room.
But it doesn't prove that I am your killer, does it?
That's... He has a very good point. The blood on that box doesn't prove that Mr. Alba is the killer. Then, this evidence, it's meaningless?
That can't be. We were so close, sir.
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do. We finally found a solid piece of evidence. There must be something I can expose with it. I can't think of a single thing.
Now, if you'll excuse me. Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now.
It wasn't me, pal. And it wasn't me this time either. It wasn't me either. It was me? Oh! Forensics boy, hey! Why did you... because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir. There's more? What? Hurry up and spit it out. Yes, sir. That blood I mentioned is not of the same blood type as the victim's blood. What? No. What? What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it? I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim, sir. No way. Did Alba spill his own blood? Is his wound not from a tussle with Damask II, but from a tussle with Cochin? Oh, okay, alright, maybe. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore. Neither do I.
My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proved something to be true, all right, namely, my words.
And which one of your words would that be?
The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto that box long before it entered my embassy?
What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder. So you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then? I guess that's possible.
Damn it! We've been wasting our time on a red herring.
The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough.
Kirkus Alba, you bastard! Okay, I like this. I like that we're swearing now. And Lane would say that. He would.
Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through.
Alba, it doesn't matter where you run off to. You'll never escape me. Someday, I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. All of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that that day comes.
Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt.
Haru! Is this really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility? Someone else, other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who has been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? Bullshit till you make it. What would he, who can turn any desperate situation around, do? Turn it around. That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this, it's whose blood could get onto the box like this. If I think about it that way, if the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there is only one person that could be.
Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from center stage, and will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me.
Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
What do you mean?
Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful.
Pitiful? How so?
Kirkus Alba, your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who was trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you.
Mere words.
What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? Just what do you think it means, Kay? We had already caught him in our trap a while back, with an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence.
Hey, Earth to Mr. Prosecutor, care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence?
The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood. But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all. Miss Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good, then I believe you are already aware of what I mean. Then you know who the blood belongs to. Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person.
Take that!
The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Kirkus Alba. What? What? Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim. The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded into the pushcart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer. So that's what you mean. The blood doesn't belong to the victim. Then there is only one other person it could belong to. Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion.
But Mr. Cochin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if, during the murder, Mr. Cochin had fought back? You mean, if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Cochin managed to wound Mr. Alba? Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time?
The wound he so very cockily showed off.
Take that!
Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound.
That was from when Damask II attacked me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, and that happened way after you was in the dressing room. Ah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as a smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing.
You believe I've overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin, and that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that could only have come from a blade.
Hey, you know what was found on Kochin's body? The Yatagarasu's key.
I wonder where you will propose that such a weapon came from.
This theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort.
Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the Alabastrian knife in a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort. But as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Kochin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So if that other way does exist, you'd better hurry and tell me now.
Edgeworth knows. With pleasure.
Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Kochin brought a weapon into this theater. In a way, it kind of begins and ends with this, huh?
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu's key.
That key.
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago. And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theater.
No!
You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Kochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there is a document about Cadopian paper, signed by Mr. Kochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Kochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Kirkus Alba? And that is what some call the coup de grace.
Impossible. You can't take me down. Swine, all of you. Especially Manny Kochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador, which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt for all of my crimes for me. That's why I sent out the Yatagarasu's card and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Yatagarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gone away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. Wait, oh my god. The meddling prosecutors and their stupid dog. Wait. Shilon Lane is a wolf man, right? He's the dog. He's Scooby-Doo. Okay. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country's, or Alabast's, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Edgeworth!
Oh my. Oh, Jesus. Wow. He got pretty messed up there, didn't he?
Phew. This is it. The big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial today.
And next week, he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country of Alabast. Franziska is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes at it.
Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir. Oh, I don't even want to think of that, what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted into the courthouse. And boy, he looked about as glum as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking, did it hurt? That flight attendant and even Mr. Portsman were all Mr. Alba's secret agents.
Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all of the incidents. Cammy Meal was to provide support during smuggling ops, using her job as an attendant. And Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor.
Ugh, I fly airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir?
I suspect there are even more members of this ring spread throughout the world.
Yeah, sounds like such a big op that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like.
Huh? What is it, Detective?
Oh, nothing. It's just, well, come to think of it, Mr. Ernest Amano's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir.
I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring now for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society.
Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG8 incident as well, huh?
I suppose so. The real killer in the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Cochin. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second KG8 incident was Mackrell. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today.
You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir?
CCU and Dead Man. Perhaps now these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Polano. A shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you. Wow!
What? Seriously, sir? Oh, wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're holding them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Cadopia again, its economy has changed.
Really?
And it seems that Ambassador Polano has reaped a few benefits of his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of their newly reunified Cadopia. Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant, Kay?
Wait, that's not what I said. So, Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir.
Why were there question marks? Who said that?
Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here?
Oh. Hey, you've got to be more alert than that.
Ugh.
I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit.
Oh, okay. I totally didn't notice ya, or realize that voice was you.
Lane G says, ferocious love blooms with each new spring. Agent Lane, a pleasant surprise to see you here. It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse.
But I wasn't gonna miss watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court.
Is that so, Agent Lane?
We flushed out all the counterfeit bills, so Zhenfa is finally at peace again. It's all thanks to you, so I just want to say, thanks.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth. I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lane. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case.
A shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong, I'll still never forgive you, prosecutors. I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change, you got that?
I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job.
Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm gonna get that person no matter what.
Alright. It's about time for the trial to start. I will see you later.
I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to this. I prepared a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir.
Yeah! The confetti! It is canon, you know, that Gumshoe does throw out confetti every time one of them wins. Oh god. In this case, it's gonna be pretty morbid. The judge is gonna swing his gavel down, proclaim Alba guilty, send him to prison, and then confetti. Oh man. Well, I mean, I guess either way, justice gets met, so that's worth celebrating. Anyway, I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins.
Hope you've got enough, because I'm gonna go call my men up as well.
A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. The scene shifts to the courtroom, and the final act of this long tale begins. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's a story of those who chose to dedicate their lives to the pursuit of the law. Prosecutors are those who seek a guilty verdict for the defense they meet. And to that end, you have no choice but to win by any means necessary. That creed was forced on me since I was very young. However, I no longer think that is all we prosecutors are. And that is because... even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short time, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I've set foot in one. And today, more than any other day, I feel the fight within me rising.
Hey!
I was almost hoping for Phoenix Wright to stroll in. And left with the implication that Phoenix is somehow gonna bullshit his way to, oh, I'm really thankful for Mr. Edgeworth's death for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, so about my suitcases? I've been selling them on the internet, but they've become a real sensation. Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished on my work as being truly postmodern, the airline has chosen me to design their new line of iFly jumbo jets. Just think, someday you will be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet. Oh, God. But, yeah, imagine Phoenix walking in with the implication that he's gonna bullshit his way to getting Alba not guilty. That would be funny. Edgeworth? Ah, that rudeness of a rude man. Because of him, my time and money is wasted. But more importantly, I received the most fantastic treasure recently, the permanent statue of the Principality of Catopia. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the Ambassador Polino was most generous. Oh, so that's what became of the hollow one, huh? Alright. We finally caught Agent Hicks's killer and is able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. It feels good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Codopian courts await. Codopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my whip should find new vigor there. Oh god. Go kick ass, girly. This little patrolman has been fired as of today, sir. I thought I was safe since we found the gun I had dropped. But I hadn't noticed that I had dropped my police badge, too! I guess that really broke the camel's back, was that I couldn't find my badge. My little life has suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir! I think I'll go to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles Man. Ruffles? Because of Edgeworth's cravat? Okay. That's a new one. Ruffles Man. Sounds like a potato chip mascot. Oh yeah, holy shit. Emma was in this game. I was actually hoping to talk with Mr. Edgeworth a bit more than I did, but I've got to get going and return to Europe. I've still got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I help Mr. Edgeworth on a case, I'm going to do it as a real forensic scientist. I'm sure he's going to need all the help I can give him scientifically. That's nice. I wonder if she'll actually be in Investigations 2. Because the kidnapping was staged, I was let off easy. But I won't be going outside much anytime soon, but that's really okay. The only prison I'm forever trapped in is a cage of love. The guard down at the detention center, well, when he's on guard duty, he has such a cold look in his eyes, just like that prosecutor. Badump. Ah, stop it, Lauren. When will you ever learn to stop being a prisoner of love? Wow, so that guard who sits in the interrogation cell has an admirer, huh? That's pretty great.
It appears that there are all sorts of drama that takes place outside of the courtroom. Since we judges are here today in and day out, it's only heard of a few rumors, but apparently Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try to become a lawyer or something.
Give me this game. Give me that game. Give me that game. Give me that game. I need it. Please. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Maggie was in this game. I forgot that, too. Wow. Phew, I barely escaped death yet again.
Yeah, but boy, were we lucky to have Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh?
Yeah, but because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job.
Don't let it get you down, Maggie. You still got me.
You're right, sir. I won't be sad. Gonna pick myself up and get through this. I wonder what my next job should be. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. Why not come to Godopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty. Right now, our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show. Although recreating that particular case has created a few small fires of its own. Then we had a few problems with the fire marshals, but the next event will be great. It will be an attraction entitled Capture the Yatagarasu. Of course, I hope to in this case help in creating our latest attraction. That was still one of the best moments. I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan. But it's okay, because that's how I met Miharu. Wait, you stalked Mindy to Japan? Go to Paris, start a business? We're going to sell blue ocean dogs? We'll sell like hotcakes? Hotcake hot dogs? Blue hot dog and a blue bun? Oh. I know I'm not really the type to work a lot, or at all really, but... Oh, so I noticed that I really haven't seen the guy in the blue suit at all recently. Wonder what's up. Well, next time we meet, I'm gonna make him eat one of my dogs. Is that a promise? He's gonna come back with blue hot dogs? Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
Today I gave testimony in court today, as a member of the Yatagarasu.
That's a typo.
Yo, Mr. Bat, you look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed the elements within the ring have begun moving? They're probably fighting over who should succeed, over who should be the next boss. Although, to be honest, I wish I could forget I'd ever heard of that smuggling ring. Plain G says, thoroughly bite the poisonous snake from head to tail. No one runs afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fangs. I'll get you all yet. Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I've begun noticing the gray hairs in my beard more. Thinking of retiring my mirror.
Okay. I was the Pink Princess and the Pink Badger all in the span of 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright, because I got a letter from my beloved Edgy Poo. Please take care of your hip, and when you wish to speak, first take off your headpiece. What does he mean by that last statement? It's not like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. I've been an alien, and then some creepy fuzzy pink animal, and then I was a pink princess and a great hero of justice, but every time I was the unrained stylish hat on my head, though, right around, maybe it's been a costume or something that sounds terrible idea. I hope we never see Windy Oldbag again. I'll be happy next time she shows up. Alright, so what's next for Kay, huh?
Ooh, I feel so much better now that the trial's over. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir.
Yeah, and nothing beat the look on Mr. Albert's face when you revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom.
Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court.
Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they've begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Franziska and Agent Lane.
So, what are your plans now, Kay?
Huh? Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant.
Are you still trying to steal my job, pal?
Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy.
Ooh, what a relief.
Kay? Yeah? Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course. But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu. So I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team of my own.
A 3-person team?
A 3-person team of young beauties the same age as me, if possible. With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm going to work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going.
I see. Okay, keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in.
Aren't we on like the 30th floor or whatever?
If you could, I'd appreciate if you came in through the building's front door.
It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken for forever.
Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture, just the three of us.
Yeah, a commemorative photo. Every big case has to end with one.
No. Hey, why not?
And don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course not, Detective. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Stop that. I can't be seen doing that. Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese. And thus, the long tale of the KG-8 incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there is little time to rest and relax, for I am eager to tackle the investigation to a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. Yeah. I got all the warm tinglies. Feels good. So is that it then? Oh, look at that. It is. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this extra special super long video. My god, we're like 2 hours 30 minutes here. I could go back and like cut things off at like the 1 hour 14 mark-ish when we had that to be continued moment, but nah. The finale deserves to be special. Let's keep it this long. Anyway, yeah, wow, that's Ace Attorney Investigations. It's done. A bit of a mixed bag, this game. I'll start. The characters are all incredible. The writing team is still firing on full cylinders. All the characters in this game are incredibly memorable and just bursting to the seams with personality. Lance Amano, Lauren Pops, Kirkus Alba, Polano, Jock Sportsmans, and Jim Buddy. And, what's his face? The art man from the plane. Yeah, everyone just great characters. But the cases themselves, mixed bag. So this game did not start out that strong. So the initial case with Jock Sportsman, I mean, it was small scale. It was a tutorial. It didn't really have too high of expectations. It taught me how to play the game, right? But then we had the airplane case, and there was just something missing, you know? It felt a bit bare bones, I could say. It was, I don't know, it just was missing this indefinable spark that's usually in the series. And I wasn't too fond of the final villain of that case. It was kind of like, nothing offensively bad in that case. It was just okay. And honestly, I could say the same for the next one in Gatewater Land. Now, the whole concept with the Badger suits and the swaps and the identities and all that was really good. And I also like the quiet tragedy of Lauren Pops' father, who couldn't reveal his identity to her. And I like the connection with the horse amulet and the wing amulet, how made a Pegasus. There was a lot of good there. But that said, the final villain, yeah, kind of toothless. Lance Amano was probably the most boring character in the entire game. And then everything changed. Case 4, that flashback. We got to see Manfred again. We got Yun K, Yun Gumshoe, Yun Edgeworth, everyone Yun. And we were introduced to Callisto Yu and Tyrell Bad. Instant classics. They are some of the best Ace Attorney characters yet. Tyrell Bad in particular stole the show. And all the cleverness with the Yatagrasu's key and how it went forward into the future to be relevant in the next case. And in fact, be the coup de grace for the next case. And, man, that final case, case 5 in the embassy, that is a strong contender for the best case in all of Ace Attorney that I have played through so far. I played through the original trilogy and Apollo Justice and now this. Yeah, case 5, incredible. It had humor, it had intrigue, it had twist after twist after twist after twist after revelation, and just kept going, and it was so well thought out, and Kirkus Alba was incredibly satisfying to bring down. Like, he had all the best elements of Manfred von Karma and Damon Gant. Like, the same archetype with the old man wielding a lot of power and throwing it around, sure. Same trick they've done, but it was still satisfying, and I loved it. So yeah, Ace Attorney Investigations, mixed bag, but it has definitely left off on an extremely positive note. It was a good game. I liked it a lot. So, at this point, when it comes to my channel, I should talk about what I am playing next. Indeed, when am I next going to play more Ace Attorney? So the game after this should be Ace Attorney Investigations 2. That is the chronological next game in the Ace Attorney franchise. But at this point, I've played Apollo Justice and this game back to back. It's time to take a little break from Ace Attorney. So replacing this game is another visual novel about murder mysteries. I'm going to be playing Disco Elysium, a game I have heard phenomenal, glowing things about, yet I know little to nothing about. So hope you're excited for that. And after Disco Elysium, it'll be right back to Ace Attorney with Investigations 2. And then, following that, most likely, we'll see how I feel, but most likely, Dual Destinies on the 3DS. We'll continue with Ace Attorney from there. So, yeah. And for those of you Fate Stay Night fans wondering when I'm going to go back and play the second story route, don't worry. Fate Stay Night, I've moved that to my channel's secondary time slot. We'll get back to Unlimited Blade Works soon. So, yeah. I hope you're excited. I hope you Ace Attorney fans are looking forward to Disco Elysium, because it should scratch the same itch. Maybe I know it's about murder mysteries of some sort, I think. I actually don't know. I know next to nothing about it. But yeah, Ace Attorney isn't too far away after that, so just hold tight. In the meantime, this video's gone on quite enough, so I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been yet more Ace Attorney. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.